What was the major challenge you faced spending 5 months in a third world country?
It's very different from here, but the first few weeks were probably the hardest, and then the last few weeks were probably the hardest when I had to leave, because once those first few weeks were gone, everything was normal, everything was great, and I love life. Like, it's one of the most amazing places I've ever been. And so really once you're there, it's not hard at all, because the people are the most wonderful people you ever meet, and you live a life that is great. You get to go teach, you get to go help people, and
Tell us a little bit about what you did, the teaching and the interactions you had with people.
Yeah, so Volunteer Nepal, there's a lot of locations across Nepal that you can go to. First month I was there, I went up into the mountains, and I taught in a rural mountain school with about 80 kids. And the city was only 70 kids. The town, the village was only 70 kids. And that place feels like home to me. We did have cell service, 2G, but usually no one was on their phone. You don't really have any of that, but we do have power, luckily. So, you could charge a light and read a book, hang out with the kids.
Which is not the case in a lot of places in Nepal.
No. And so that's for the first month. And then the next 2 months I was in Kathmandu. And while I'm in Kathmandu, I went to teach in a school in Basundara, which is just near our neighborhood in Dapasi. And it was a school for underprivileged kids in Kathmandu from grades pre-K till first grade. But most of the kids would be there for at least 5 years because they just couldn't get out of that grade.
And you had no training in being a teacher.
No, it was very rough.
And now all of a sudden, you not only have to teach, you have to teach kids who don't speak English, and you're in a third world country.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest challenges in the first few weeks. When I went up to the school in the mountains, I would get a lot of blank stares. I'd have to figure out the right words to use. The first day I went, I was like, does that make sense, guys? And they would all just look at me. And later I talked to my friend who was a teacher, and she was like, yeah, they said they understood, but they didn't know what sense meant, and they didn't know how to say yes, so. But I worked it out, and after the first few weeks, I was teaching 7 classes a day, and really, it was going pretty easy with the kids, and, once you get to know them a little more, too, it's a lot easier.
Tell us about some of the kids who really made an impression on you.
Yeah, the kids in the mountains, I connected with most, I would have to say. I walked to school with 2 of them every day, and I really know their family really well. And I'm in the entire village of that community. I know everyone, and they know me, and it just feels like home. And I'd have to say I connected with them really well.
Tell us about your living situation.
Really, you can kind of decide how much you want to go. It depends on where you're at. When you're in Kathmandu, you stay at the volunteer house. Probably it'll seem pretty rough compared to sleeping in a nice bed here in the States. It's still much nicer than a lot of places, so it's not bad when you're in Kathmandu. And then depending on where you go, you'll either be in a host family's house. Like when I went, I was in a host family, but they owned a lodge, which is they had 2 extra rooms. And so it wasn't bad. I had my own balcony, a little window. It was really nice though.
And how about the study of the Nepali language so that you could interact most effectively?
Yeah, so they have that all set up when you go. There's a orientation you do, and they take you around Kathmandu, so you kind of get to learn it. And that was really shocking. The traffic and everything there is crazy. They give you a pamphlet with all the basic words, like how to haggle, stuff like that, all the numbers, how to greet someone and talk with them, have a basic conversation. The hardest part is that really in Nepal there's over, I think sometimes they say 1,000 languages, because they're also different. Dialects, yeah. And each village is different. You'll go to one village, it'll be a mix with Tibetan or with Hindi. And so the hardest part is learning Nepali and then actually speaking with someone who doesn't even speak fluent Nepali.
Yeah.